Hi, hello, we're here. I think it's season 3 of the Drek show, officially.
Season 3?
Season 3 of the Drek show, yeah. Every episode's a new season. We're going for a record here.
Some really short seasons.
Yep.
But who defined what a season is?
That's what I'm saying.
Winter, fall.
One,
if
two,
we're going
three.
off of British rulings, it's pretty fucking crazy and stupid.
That's fair.
Series.
But yeah, we're here talking about obviously Shadowrun, but more importantly, Hack and Slash, the new Matrix book. That's not even out yet. And as far as I'm aware, it does not have an official release date. But it's supposed to be, I believe, either this fall or early next year. So be sure to be on the lookout for it.
My unverified rumor mill said November.
That would fall between this fall and early of next year. I believe that is what the word around the water cooler, as it were, is that it's supposed to be around November or December release, depending on shipping stuff. So make sure you guys are looking out for it. A lot of really cool things going on inside of this book.
Like what?
What?
Oh, before you talk, let's get it out the way because I'm an idiot, and when I first thought this was a melee book.
Well,
I thought it was going to be full of swords and hand-to-hand combat shit.
If you want
they
that,
do
go see Fire
kind
Squad.
of, yeah, they do kind of pay homage to like World of Warcraft. I thought was kind of cool.
Indeed, they do. I was very, very surprised by that portion. I was like, "Excuse me, is this legal?"
Maybe not World of Warcraft specifically, but like in MMOs in general.
Yeah,
It's not melee, it's like hacking computer stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's slash like
like a slash.
I don't know,
Yeah, I'm dumb.
Well-
I made a fool of myself in front of devs.
hacking slash carrot.
Exactly. This is one of the last looking at how Catalyst likes to release books for different archetypes. This is, I believe, the last one before the quote-unquote Facebook. I think every...
Facebook?
Yep, exactly.
Meta.
Meta. No, it's not Meta. It's Facebook.
Look,
But I think everyone else has had a book now, because obviously Technomancers are going to be covered inside of this book. We have Street Weird for
Riggers.
Mages. We have Double Clutch for the Riggers. I mean, really every book in some capacities for Street Sams if you really try hard enough.
Is there a cyberware? How much cyberware was in Firing Squad?
I believe there was quite a bit.
I don't remember. It's one area I hadn't really touched on.
Yeah.
a bunch. And I wouldn't say a shit ton, but it's got quite a bit.
It's got a decent amount to make it interesting. But besides the book for the faces, this is one of the last ones, which I think is interesting. That I feel like they're coming out pretty quickly, between the major archetype books, which is really interesting if they're going to be putting additional archetype books out, or if they're going to be looking forward to more of story and campaign books going forward, because we're I want to say 3 years into 6th edition now.
2016 maybe. That would have been 6 years.
Since 6th edition was released?
Yeah, it wasn't around 2016. I just throwing a number out there.
I like it. Let's
Feels
see.
right
Hit
about
the
me.
Googles. Search the Matrix.
It says 20.
Check the copyright.
It was released in 2019. I was right. Boom. Right before pandemic. It was the Gen Con right before pandemic, is why I was sort of thinking that it was that.
Also, speaking of pandemic, do you guys have Hack and Slash pulled up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go to page 5.
Okay.
5 of the PDF or 5 of the book?
Both.
The
There's
introduction.
no way they're aligned. How are they
Look under
aligned?
credits, under design productions, it says Matt non-COVID illness hurt. The fuck is that, Matt?
That's a hell
Who's
of
that?
that is a hell of a nickname.
What the fuck? How did you get that name?
It's probably just perpetually sick and always has to say it's not
COVID, I
COVID.
promise.
Because I was skimming through and I was like, I found that. What is this? People, you can't see this. Well,
That's true.
Fuck it, I'll throw it up on the stream.
So,
I'll just crop that bit.
okay, I like that. That's okay.
Just type it out.
Yeah. Anyway, looking at some of the things, we always obviously with 6th edition have quite a bit of fluff that goes into their books. Let's see. First thing that really comes up is all the new gadgets and gizmos. That is
straight to the
released.
Gadgets and Gizmos.
I think
So
so.
what-
Is there anything before that?
Oh, I don't know. We're going in order.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
it's
yeah,
the-
I was
there's
just-
Wild and Free.
It's all the fluff. I think it is the Gadget Gizmos first, after the fluff.
Well, no, you got Edge actions, new Matrix actions. All that stuff comes before Gadgets.
I see that.
and
I see that.
Under the field guide, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So we do have new Matrix and Edge actions. I do apologize.
We also have the customs. Oh no, that's under kids.
Yep.
So go ahead, shut up.
I was looking through, and I'm trying to see if there's actually quite a few new Matrix actions, which I thought was very, very interesting.
Yeah, I saw some of them. You try to find it. Some of them were very specific. You had optional. They have the movie Matrix Magic section where it's all optional Matrix actions. If you wanted more of a crunchy, because who doesn't want more crunchy Matrix actions?
I love it, especially if you watch the last episode of We Run the Night, where it was like 2 hours of decking and about 30 minutes of other things. But it was really cool to see a Matrix person shine, because as much as we do sort of really shine with the magic and the street Sams, we don't really typically get a lot of really nice Decker action. So it was really cool to see that going on. I do see in the chat, Body Shop for augmentations is due next year, I think. Very cool. Very pog.
There's. I wasn't sure. See, I didn't think there were too many augmentations, cyberware, whatever.
You can never have too many.
Well, your essence would claim differently.
Well, that's what you have essence holes for. But either way, we do have exactly a couple of new ones like computer virus, enhance, ice slicer, keyboard commando, password sequencer. We're in a different, like, aggressive, it looks like, Ed's actions within the Edge rules, Matrix rules, within the optional rules, which is, I think, pretty freaking cool.
I couldn't quite tell why they were optional. Maybe it's just because they're cliche actions. Like that's the point of this section, is like, these are things you see hackers do in movies.
Right. I just imagine someone yelling enhance when looking at a screen of the Matrix.
Yeah.
The few
exactly.
times I've done Matrix in this game, I just literally took it from like 80s shitty hacking movies, and then Josh told me it was correct or not. He was like, you can't do that. All right, what about this? Not what you call it, but yeah, that works.
I do think, like, computer virus is insane. If it is able to stop people from recording, locking the building down on security, locks are it will disengage altogether. But you just upload a virus onto their, like, server, more or less, and it just fucks with all the electronics within a building or anything like that. I think is very, very insane and very cool.
Yeah, maybe they're optional because it seems to be GM heavy on what they actually do. It says, at your disposal as a GM if you want to add a little bit of cinematic flair to the game. So, like computer virus, depending on maybe your net hits, be like, oh, I don't know, you rebooted their computer and loaded it with ads, or you wiped their entire hard drive.
Right, and then like IC hacker or IC slicer, excuse me, is just like your attack has damage value equal to your attack attribute on ice, which is absolutely insane. That is so much. Just like flat. Yeah. That is what your attack is, and then add net hits. Excuse me, what?
Especially when your attack can easily get up to like 8+.
Yeah.
If you're like pretty competent.
Well, it also depends on what your cyber deck is, because you can just put like your highest defense or like your highest rating into attack and just slice through ice, which is very interesting to me that they gave a way to fight ice head on instead of being like, oh, we just got to run. Because
is this ice or is it IC?
It's IC, but it's pronounced ice. That's how ice is pronounced.
Well, ice is another thing where it's ICE.
For hacking?
Isn't it?
No. For hacking, it's just IC, but people just call it ice because reasons. But as far as I'm aware of, no. But I do like that they're providing. I think it's interesting they're providing more optional rules in each book, because I don't think any of the other books had optional rules. I think most of them were just pretty flat out on like. Anything in this book is optional if you want it to be, but they started providing some extra rules to it, which I think is very, very pog.
Yeah. I think it became a trend that they liked from the Seattle edition and the companion, that they were like, we should do this more. So it's just they were written like later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
The more rules you add on, the more likely you are to break the system by adding things, so it's probably just easier to make it an optional rule, especially with a game like Shadowrun, where things are always kind of tipping the scales really easily.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I was looking through. Trying to see if there was any like really big Matrix Edge actions that were new. Intervene and paint target. Paint target is really cool. It paints a target on the team's AR, allowing them to know where the target is located. Removes blinded status coming from cover or smoke grenades.
Yeah, the paint target's kind of what I've always been kind of doing anyways with like drones and whatnot, but now it has like an official name. It's like, is there any way I can like ping this guy? And Justin's like, I mean, you would be able to, so sure.
Right.
But now it's official.
Which I do like, and especially it's only one edge. So it doesn't feel bad to toss a point of edge to be able to ping someone if you really, really wanted to.
Is it an edge per person?
Yeah, because it paints a target.
What page is that on?
That is on page 31, right above Move Matrix Magic. Paints a target in the team's AR, allowing them to know where the target is located. So I believe it probably one edge, and it's probably a minor action would be my assumption, or a minor action. Doesn't really say.
Ooh.
Could be as part of an action. Usually, I mean.
But now that's official, you can like set up through and through shots with like walls.
Yeah.
Before it was kind of like you just kind of winging it, and Josh would be like, sure, I guess you can kind of do that. Now it's like, nah, he's there.
Right, exactly.
I picked the edge.
Yeah. Well, I feel like whenever you ping someone when we're playing, it's always like, these are the enemies I see, and now you can see them. This is definitely more of like, oh, they're behind smoke or cover, and there's an outline where you can actually see them and shoot at them.
I feel like the non-edge version that we've it isn't like official. It's just kind of like a dot. You're like, there's a you can't tell how big or small.
And that's what I've really been
something there.
Right, that's what I've been doing it as, is more like Battleship, where there's just like a dot on a AR overlay, compared to this is like a physical outline of the person exactly where they are. So it's sort of exactly. I really, really like that paint target.
Chad is also saying that edge actions don't cost minor and majors.
Yeah, usually it's part of an action, but none of these say they're part of an action. But the edge actions themselves are never an action.
Which would make sense, because to be honest, paint target for one edge per one target is kind of expensive.
Especially if you're already there.
Yeah.
You're looking at the target, and you got smart gun or image link or something going on. You're just spending an edge to let the computer do the work. I don't know why it needs to take an action necessarily.
Also, what happens if the camera or sensor that painted that target no longer has sight?
I would remove that. I would remove the paint.
Like if they duck behind cover that the drone just can't see behind?
I would remove it and be just like, this is the last known location.
It's like a regular ping.
Yep. Also, as one of the silly, interesting little not edge action, but just optional rules we're in is just hilarious. Upon successfully hacking into a host or device, a triumphant yell tells your team that you're the best frag and decker on the planet. On a success, reset your edge pool back to your edge rating.
Where is that?
We're in. It's on page 32. It's the last optional rule.
Oh.
If you are currently over your edge rating, then you do not reset it. But like if you're at one edge after you get like hack, you literally yell out, you roll this test, and if you're successful, you reset your edge up to your attribute.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's like a payoff if you're like trying to be sneaky inside of a building. But if you're just like sitting in the car and he's like, "We're in," you're like, "All right, edge back. All right, cool."
Yeah. I mean, it's a major action. It's illegal, and it's electronics plus charisma.
Yeah. Which is typically pretty bad if you're a decker.
Yeah, it'd be good for a Technomancer.
Technomancer, because he's using this, be very good with it.
And does it have to be a scream, or can you just be like, "I'm in"?
No, it's a triumphant yell. I would absolutely. I mean, that's the off-put for it, right? Like you have to absolutely just yell that you're in to let everyone and their mother know that you're in their host. And then you get to reset or get a chance to reset your edge.
Sure, I guess.
I just think it's so goofy.
Does that supersede the max 2 per round during combat?
I would say yeah, because it's. I wouldn't even say it's like edge gain. It's a reset. Honestly,
so I guess here's the real question: are we using it?
I'm not using it.
Right.
Well, yeah. Are you gonna let Travis use it?
If he really wants to, he's more than welcome to. Let me know of any optional rules he wants to bring to the table.
Oh fuck.
That's hilarious, and I love it. But
now we can talk about custom cyber decks.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to get to.
Now that we're a half hour into the show,
Are we really?
Yeah, it's 9:30 already.
Yeah, we started a little late.
That's fair. Custom cyber decks. We have custom drones from
There's custom vehicles in general from Double Clutch.
Double Clutch, thank you.
I don't know if could you make a custom drone?
It's a vehicle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not a vehicle.
No, vehicles can be drones, but drones cannot be vehicles.
Well, it's
like
anytime something refers to a vehicle, it's also including drones.
Are you getting on to me about IRL terminology? Are you going IRL now?
No. I think that is based off the game.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, it specifies like whenever you're like, because a vehicle size class and a drone size class, even though they're both considered large, are different size classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have vehicle types, like I don't remember what they are, but there's trucks, cars,
you definitely,
hover,
you
whatever.
Definitely can make a custom drone because it was drone sizes were on the table. So
yeah. It's drones and vehicles, but they have custom. I think really pretty much everything has custom something. We have mages with custom spells. We have riggers with custom drones and vehicles. Now we have custom cyber decks.
There's also custom programs in this
Yes,
book.
yes, custom programs and custom cyber decks. I am interested to see if a custom cyber deck is worth the price.
Yeah, I
Comparatively,
haven't built any out. Yeah.
comparatively to like just going and buying a stock cyber deck. I wonder if it's actually like better stats for less money, or if it's the opposite way. Because like a rating 4 cyber, or I guess that's a cyber hack, not a cyber deck, right?
Cyberjack.
No, cyber hack. On page 34, there's a rating 1 through 4 on cyber hacks. But looking on, you have cases, you have different modifications. You can put a freaking dart launcher on your cyber deck, which is insane.
You can use a case from an RCC. You can make your cyber deck look like an RCC.
Yeah, which is pretty freaking cool. There's internal program slots dedicated, response increases.
Keytar case.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in the future.
Exactly. And you can be a wicked wearable.
It does. I do think you could probably build a stronger cyber deck using custom, making a custom one, because I don't think there's any standard cyber deck that has 9/9 for attack and sleaze, but it does look like it's possible with a custom.
But
Yeah,
how
but-
much Nuyen?
Well,
Probably
it's 180k for a 9/9, because a rating 9 attack is 90k by itself, and same with the
That's-
90 or 9 sleaze.
And that's
not
just for the
exactly
components.
half, but it's over a quarter of your starting Nuyen that you could possibly have.
Right, and that's
That-
just, and it's not, you can't even get it starting. It's 9 illegal.
Oh,
Yeah. And that also doesn't count the case and the components.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly. That's just
So
the
that's-
components. That's not even
so that's
the
impossible character change.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It looks like rating. So realistically, you could only go up to a rating 6 at character gem.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the highest in the core.
in the core,
Let's
I
find
have
out.
no idea. Because
They
the rating of
also
the attack
modify-
module and the sleaze module is equal to the rating of the actual module, is what it is for availability. So
I do like that you can now give your deck some flair.
yeah,
Yeah. And that was cool about the custom vehicles and all that too. You know,
Yeah,
if
you
you
can,
really
like-
just had an idea of what you wanted.
Because I wanted a semi, like basically a big rig, and there wasn't really a good fit anywhere in like the core or double clutch or anything. Like there were things that were close, but it was either more than I wanted or not enough, or didn't seem like it would fit. This is like the perfect middle ground for deckers.
So the highest availability cyber deck in the core has a attack and sleaze of 9 and 8. Availability 6. So
so it looks
go
like
More than, how much is that?
yeah. How much is that one though?
410.
Yeah, 410, but it's only it's available to 6. But like,
Wait, 410,000 new yen?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which I
like,
mean, you need a good cyber jack
80%.
too.
Yeah.
Because that's also kind of just barely not possible at character gen, because you wouldn't be able to buy anything else. You couldn't even use it. You wouldn't be able to buy software, at least not much.
Well, you
You'd
have
be-
a ton of karma you can spend
Yeah,
in
just spend all your karma on New Yen.
stolen gear or in debt. That'll help you out.
Yeah, that's very true.
To get the
Good.
highest rating cyberjack and cyber deck, you would need 620,000 yen.
620.
Yeah, to get
Chat says you can match
9898.
100 new yen Metalink.
Vomit.
so you know, those are like the highest level gears. Do you really want to like finish your character out of Kerrigan? You know, you need some room to grow.
There's definitely room to grow, like an actual pair of shoes, because you're walking around homeless.
That's probably fair. But I'm very excited. I really hope. And I like this for GMing as well, because I can like provide like unreleased cyber decks as a reward, like from a big corporation. You know, I can make it so it's like a blank. No one else in the world has a cyber deck because it hasn't even been released yet. This prototype, here, take this as a reward, and I can fully build out a cyber deck and just give it out as a reward, which is insane. Or if Travis has built a cyber deck, I can give like components as rewards, which I think is really cool.
Components, if he buys one, he just has to run like a hacking and jailbreaking kind of test sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, for an update?
Yeah.
I wonder how you'd have to look at like the core, because the custom cyber decks have these core slots. So you'd have to. Could we just give like an arbitrary number of core slots to a?
There might be something in here. I have barely skimmed through this about an hour ago.
Yeah, I'd have to look through.
So there might
accessories
be something in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you wanted to give one of the core, yeah, you could. Yeah, there's actually right here optional cyber deck components and accessories. They don't take core slots. Some of them do, but some of them just take a capacity, like the dart launcher. You put a dart launcher on your cyber deck.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
put
one
that
per dart.
Full of narco jet.
You're jacked in, so you got your cyber deck there, jacked in, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Hot
exactly.
sim.
Hot sim, just fire off a dart.
If
anyone tries to mess with you,
way, painted target, lose sight, still have sight.
I love it.
You get an RFID. You get an RFID.
They also put in some data taps, which are small handheld devices that allow for direct access to another device or network. They have standard, grapple, arrow, laser, and stealth.
Pretty cool spy tools.
Yeah, I am very, very happy about that.
It's like an auto hacker kind of.
No, so usually, like if you're trying to like hardwire in, you'd have to go into a computer. This you literally can just like, once you already have a data, that's ready. Installing a standard data tap requires you to be close enough to touch the device you're connecting to. If there are no exposed wires or data ports, you may need to pry open a case or something. So instead of like trying to hack into a computer, you can put a data tap or like hook it on the computer, and you get access. You can like hook into that and be able to get access through that without having to physically trying to hack into like a security system. You can like more or less like when you see in like all the old spy movies when the hacker takes the feed and they just take two little wires and like snip it into the feed, then you're in. Gotcha. It's more or less this.
Yeah, it's like a literal. I don't see a phone tap on here, but you put a tap on someone's phone and listen in while they're talking to someone.
Yeah.
Same thing, both emails.
I also think that is very interesting. They have, link gloves. They're gloves that generate a electromagnetic field, and it creates a connection with any electrical device that they touch. So like they walk up to a computer and hold it, like put their finger on it, and they have a direct connection to that computer.
It's like normally you need like exposed wires or access to like a keypad or something.
Yeah.
This will get to those wires without you having to bust open the case.
Bro, and if you got your deck on like a Trode or something, or like or in your head, you can literally just be talking to somebody and just like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" Just like be a face, kind of rest your hand on it, just act like you're talking to somebody, and you're just hacking their whole shit.
I think
"Oh,
it'd
yeah,
be
it's
really, really cool for technomancers too. You just put your hand on it and then let sprites go to work.
So, you're a walking virus.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just hear him yell,
Like,
"We're in."
You get a sprite. You get a sprite. You get a sprite.
I think
Do you
it's
have to hold touch, or can the technomancer be like touch, send the sprite, all right, let go?
I don't know. It says it's incapable of VR mode and not compatible with a living persona. So it kind of sounds like to me you can't just be solely on the Matrix. So I don't think sprites would be able to work with it.
That's probably true. I think you might be right. No, it just looks like it'd be done in AR. But I would probably have to guess that it would have to touch it.
Like hold touch, like
Mhm.
continue. Like if he lets go, boom, connection lost.
Yep.
It's like NFC.
Which makes sense for like regular deckers, but I thought maybe like with the techno. But it sounds like the gloves in general are like, fuck you, technomancers, it doesn't work.
Right, because
I
it's
think technos can
incapable of
already
VR.
do that.
That's probably true.
I mean,
Like
if you,
just touch.
I mean, they don't have to.
I think with an Echo, they can actually just do that.
Yeah, if you have an icon, I don't know. I'm talking gibberish. I feel like if you
That's
have an
probably
icon, a technomancer could hack it.
So basically, it's giving deckers like a little bit of technomancer power.
Oh my goodness, a matrix relay. You know how we were talking about pans? That is
Remember?
Peter Pan.
no, like how we're like, oh, no, you're too far away to be on a pan. Matrix relay gets rid of that. A matrix relay is that you're connected to a pan essentially allows you to be two or more places at once, as far as the matrix is concerned.
Damn.
So if you have a matrix relay and you have someone real far, you're in two places.
How much is that, and what's the word I'm looking for? You can't go above 6.
Availability.
Thank you. Avail. What's the
I
availability of it?
think they have
They have different
different
ones.
ratings.
So
2,
1
4, and 6.
Okay.
And then
wait, matrix relay. I see 1 to 3. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. 2, 4, and 6. So 1 to
Yeah.
3 rating is 2. 4 to 6 is 4. 7 to 9 is 6. 10 and plus is rating.
yeah,
But they're all
So if you go-
legal, which is or a license. They're all licensed, which I think is interesting. Except for rating 1 to 3 is legal, so you don't even need you could just carry one around without a license or anything.
See, it just
Yeah.
sounds like a Decker M talk.
And they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, 1 to 3 is rating times 1,000. Rating 4 to 6 is rating times 5,000. 7 to 9 is rating times 20K. And rating 10 plus is rating times 50K.
Dude, that scales drastically.
it basically gets rid of noise, though. Is the point.
Yeah, except if it goes, even if if it goes above the noise, it just doesn't work at all. Like, if the noise is above whatever the rating is, it just stops working.
Also, how big are these things?
Imagine like a antenna with a suction cup on the bottom.
I
You
like
can
it.
slap it on.
Because, I mean, what if I just slap that bitch on my drone? Like, go fly out 7 miles. It's fine.
No skill test is required unless you would like to conceal it with a self-palming agility test. So I'm assuming they're probably smaller in size if you can try to palm them and hide it.
Bro.
Google what a real relay looks like.
Oh, there's all kinds. You're
Yeah.
going to get big to small.
Yeah, I'm
Real
thinking like
relays.
router relay.
I mean, you said router, so decent.
Maybe just like a range extender.
small. But
So
would that
pretty
work?
much. So
I
what?
slapped it on my drone?
I mean, in theory, it would, because the example they have for it is someone setting up a rating 4 relay and activates it. Later, when they need to use it, he's going to be 2 kilometers away, which would give you a noise level of 3. But the camera that he's trying to hack is only 150 meters away from the relay, so his noise is only 1.
So if I slapped it on the drone, I would never have noise.
As far as I'm aware, in theory, yes.
A matrix relay that is connected to your pan essentially allows you to be 2 places at once. Blah, blah, blah. Setting up, no skill test, blah, blah, blah. What's it do? That noise. If you move away from your matrix relay, determine if there is any noise directly between you and your relay due to distance. Yeah. If that noise ever exceeds the matrix relay's rating, you are out of range.
So there is so instead of being noise to your drone, you now have to worry about noise to your relay. So if your relay is on the drone, you have the same issue.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it's decently, but if it's,
what's a normal noise for a drone?
I can go pretty far.
Like
it's
6 noise.
So yeah, but I also have a lot of reducers, and I don't even have all the reducers I could be using, and I still like by my rig alone, it gives me a -3 to noise.
I don't think those reducers would apply to the relay though. It would be after the relay,
right?
Well, it would give me a reduction to the relay.
It might depend also because if it's going from RCC to drone and that's where the reduction is, then it might be a different specification for going from RCC to relay.
I probably have to get some sort of reductions from relay to, so I probably have to get more software like a signal scrubber and shit like that on the relay.
To answer your question on how big they are, the more powerful matrix relay is, the bulkier it is. Reduce the threshold for perception tests to notice or detect by its rating. The matrix relay with a rating of 6 or higher, normally requires a vehicle to be portable. Matrix relays that are rating 9 or higher require much more space and equipment, such as a semi-trailer, and are usually only used by matrix service techs. So 9 or higher is a semi, 6 or higher is a vehicle to move the equipment.
Oh, big.
Yeah,
massive.
Driving around town with a big satellite on the back of your semi.
So I was trying to think. I don't think it's going to be viable for me or even helpful, because I was trying to think like, at what point is it worth for noise reduction? How far away? And then there'd be a whole lot of planning ahead of time. And I don't even have a home base. The home base moves, so it doesn't even matter. I don't think my character needs it.
I think
also, given the price
for like what you guys are doing now, or like we're trying to do with decking, when you guys were hacking on the way, like if Janky put one outside of that corporation, they would have a lot less noise to start out with, when like he was starting out with like 4 noise because of how far he was
from the bar.
Yeah, when he was,
I think it would be perfect
there.
Yeah, I think it'd be perfect for like deckers who are like, I don't go on site.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, yeah, you let me call me when you get there, and I'll hack in.
Or what if we just
get there, slap this down somewhere?
Yeah. Or what if our firing squad just carries around a relay in our pocket, so our decker can hide out in the armored vehicle?
That'd be dope.
There's an idea.
But I'm pretty sure
I hate it.
I think Janky kind of likes the front line though, doesn't he?
It's a little early to tell, to be fair. We haven't really seen any sort of combat yet.
All right, well, we're about a quarter of the way through the book.
Yeah, exactly. So many different gadgets and gizmos
That's another thing. What's the difference between a gadget and a gizmo? I didn't find that.
Gizmos were, and gadgets whiz.
Exactly.
I want to throw a pillow at you. What does it really mean?
I don't think there is a difference.
It's just flavor text.
I think so.
Gnomes make gadgets, and
goblins make gizmos.
Gadget, yeah, that's it.
I think there is a difference though, because I saw like.
I think they're both made up words.
I think that's very true.
No, I mean, obviously every word is made up, but I mean, see, look, it says Gizmo.
A gadget is a thing that whose name cannot be remembered.
So like on page
A thingamajig,
40,
a
there's a
doohickey.
legit gizmo like area.
Yeah,
So
but
this
there's
is
no
for-
gadget area. It's just all
Gadget-
the gizmos.
I think gadgets are basically what we already have. I don't know.
This
I
is
might
a
be reading too much
definition.
into this.
The definition of a gadget is a thing whose name cannot be remembered. A thingamajig, a doohickey. A
All right, I'm sorry I
gizmo
brought it
is
up.
a nonsensical placeholder name for something, generally a device,
I regret
that one
this.
does not know the proper name for. A whatchamacallit.
I wanna move
Thingamajig.
on.
They're the same thing. It's just gadget and gizmos as a slang
Okay.
term.
Can we also talk about Ready Player 2 in this book? Or Ready Player 1? Or you could just live in the Matrix now, and there's like cyber werewolves.
That was cool because, in the magic world, you have all these magical creatures that can attack you. Now, GMs could like throw your lone Matrix explorer. They could just throw them a small little encounter. Be like, hey, you're not so safe.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can freely roam the Matrix and the Barrens without having to worry about ice or anything. Oh, are you sure? Because now there's a Matrix werewolf chomping on your face.
Which makes sense. I mean, like, comparative to our world, it's like, what the f is fucking stupid. But you're not, like, that's not the same. Like, in Shadowrun, you got AIs, and the virtual Matrix is not so much being created by a single company or multiple companies. It's developing naturally by AI. So to have natural, like, ecosystems makes sense, to be honest.
Yep.
Especially with these sprites, and now with AIs, there's things we don't understand. Yeah, and now it's a man-made astral world now. The astral and the metaplanes, you have, like I was saying, all this magic stuff. And now you have this man-made second world overlapping our own, where that's kind of cool. It's a cool concept.
I think what would be cool is like a couple one-offs to where the entire party's just in the virtual world.
Oh, like
the entire run is in the virtual
I've seen
world.
that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tron. Where they get zapped into the computer by accident.
Tron series. Like, we run the stars instead of we run the night, it's we run the Matrix.
Yeah.
We all just become AIs for like
it's just an AI.
I'm just gonna name it just the episode just Jumanji and have you guys just play like a video game version of Jumanji.
Wait, is Josh trying to find a way to get us back into a dungeon in a different game that doesn't have dungeons?
Anything.
We're gonna play Starfinder using the Shadowrun system.
That's fair.
Yeah, we started playing Starfinder just like, so you find yourself in a dungeon. How did we get here, Josh?
The only problem with that is the physical attributes don't translate. I mean, they literally translate to something else in the Matrix. So if we were all zapped into the Matrix, we'd have to use our physical attributes as our attack sleeves.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
It'd be very bad.
But that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, we could still play our roles, except we don't have electronic skills and stuff
Right.
like that.
No, it'd be sort of rough, but it'd be really cool. Another thing that have you can now build a host, which is interesting. They have a bunch of programming tools. You can now have similar to like Double Clutch. You can have a coding kit, a coding shop, and a coding facility, which allows you to repair your cyberdecks and build a new cyberdecks, which is choice, always for that. New comlink apps, which are underutilized in my opinion, but
how about data terminals?
Data terminals.
Yeah, basically you can have a computer now.
Oh, data terms, yeah.
The cyber terminals themselves can basically combine cyberjacks and cyberdecks into one cyber terminal, which have their own ASDF attributes.
Yeah, that's insane.
They're actually pretty affordable.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy that. What else? You can write your own programs like we were saying earlier. So you can write code. You get a programming test, programming tools, comlink apps, brand new cyber programs that are already there.
I liked a lot of the apps, the comlink apps.
Yes.
because as someone who's not a Matrix person, these are things I might actually buy.
Like what?
Like the
Explain, because I didn't read that at all.
the personal assistant, which I kind of used last time I was on the session, but I haven't actually added it to my com link because it wasn't out yet. But when I said I was getting myself ready on the phone and I opened up my com link and talked to my personal assistant to give me the weather and stuff, that's the type of things that this personal assistant can do. And it also has its own security rating, so it'll protect your stuff for you.
So it's basically like
Yeah.
searching like if I wanted to search a matrix, but Josh's like roll matrix search. Like I don't fucking just have the assistant.
your
do it.
I
assistant do
believe
it.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's how it works. It's
Ooh,
an AI
right.
that, you know, is
How
on your
much?
phone.
What's the new? Wait, is there ratings?
Oh, they're super cheap. There are ratings. It's rating times 100 new yen.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's cheap as fuck.
Yeah. So
I want to get Einstein level assistants. Just pay like
There-
2K.
there's a ton of them. There's Me Feed, which I think is literally like Instagram or something, and it's free, but it's like in-app purchases available.
Yeah, it's me feed, which is social media. So like what you guys were looking into last episode, we're trying to figure out what this guy was like, where he was located, and it was your
Mhm.
me feed.
So I'll probably retcon a bunch of these apps onto my own com link just because they're.
Yeah,
Kinda
I'll
fun.
probably buy a bunch too.
I think especially for things like MeFeed, I mean they're apps, so they took kind of real life and put it into Shadowrun, where it's like you have an app store. There's like 1 billion free apps on there.
And having me feed app running provides a point of edge on any matrix search about a person, company, pop culture, or current event.
Does that work with the assistant?
I'd have to
Sure.
look. Probably.
Like, can I be like, hey, assistant, look up Donnie's me feed, and then it's
Well, I
like,
don't know.
oh yeah, he's with me. That's Edge.
Maybe your personal assistant probably doesn't have its own edge. Yeah, no edge may be gained or spent on its behalf.
Yep. And it doesn't get to roll a dice pool. It buys hits. So the rating is equal to its rating, or the dice it gets is equal to rating. So like if you buy a rating 1 PA, it will never score any hits on a search. If you get a 2 to 3, it gets 1, 4 to 5 gets 2, 6 is 3, which is the max, is rating 6.
So it's just like it's always 3 successes.
Yeah.
This is where I got confused earlier. See, there's a app called a P-ICE, a personal ICE, which is an IC, and they included the name, the natural language ICE as fully capital. So I was like, wait, isn't IC and ICE?
So what does that do for you?
I don't know. There's a bunch of different types. There's P-ICE, Nope, Spines. What else?
And
Watchdog.
So it depends on which kind you get. Like Spines gives Matrix, or if they hack in and fail, the hacker takes Matrix damage. Nope puts an alert on any attack or intrusion, and then turns off all wireless devices that are connected to that device.
Yeah, it seems to be like your basic, your personal McAfee.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So basically, if I don't have a decker or I'm nowhere near my decker, I can still protect myself without needing to roll decking stuff that I can't do.
exactly.
Dope. I have more things to spend money on in this game.
Gotta love it.
At least it's all fairly cheap, and none of them take
True. Well,
like capacity. So it's, I think you can just have
That's-
them all on your comlink if you wanted.
that's how I felt about Autosofts till I was told I have to buy one for literally every fucking gear in the goddamn drone.
Get that poser. We also
Good
have
list.
more agents, which is cool. Always enjoy agents.
What are those for?
Agents are agent software generates a second persona of limited AI that can carry out matrix actions at the command of its owner.
So sprites for deckers.
Sprites for anyone, realistically. It's sort of like
Price
Siri.
for anybody who isn't a technomancer.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Siri.
Okay, cool.
That's pretty good. I mean, if you get a rating 6 agent, it's got 6 charisma, intuition, logic, and willpower.
Yep. And it has a matrix initiative of rating times 2 plus 2d6.
So me as a face, I have 0 electronics. Could I purchase an agent and have it do like all my matrix searches?
Yep.
How
It
much
would
is
just-
like a really good agent?
Everybody out there in the living community, there's how you get your equipment.
That's how you get your equipment without
Are
having.
you happy now?
Exactly. But you have to wait till it's released. Sorry. But it's 1,500 per rating.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
No.
What, 9,000 for a rating 6?
Yeah.
Just land a solid job. Buy an agent.
Pretty much.
Availability
Basically,
6.
If you go into this book and just buy a shit ton of like the auto, you don't even need to hire a decker. The decker book is now eliminating deckers.
Exactly. So just real quick, going through, there are a crap load of new complex forms for technomancers. One of
They added for a bunch of complex forms. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but now there's a lot of fade values that are equal hits.
Yep.
So, which is cool. I mean, the more hits you get, the more you gotta deal with that fade.
which is very cool. They also have a ton of new echoes, which are pretty cool for more Technomancer stuff. A crap load of new echoes.
Yeah, they were in need of some echoes because
They had like what, 16 we said? Or was that complex forms that
maybe
were
those
16?
complex
I
forms.
think so.
I mean, they still have at least, I don't want to count them all right now, but like a dozen new echoes, and I think the core had like 6.
Yeah, they had very, very few. They have now also data structures, which are like a home for your sprites that can gain like extra bonuses to certain things, which is pretty cool. New sprites types in general. My personal favorite is the assassin sprite.
I like cherry ginger.
You would.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
No,
I can
it's
kind of guess what the
Sprite.
assassin does.
It's a Sprite flavor, like the drink.
Is
I am offended.
cranberry ginger? Cherry ginger? I couldn't remember. I knew there's a Sprite with ginger.
Well, thanks for coming.
Right, yeah, for sure. They added Sprite Rep, which I think is very good. So extra sort of rep that goes into it is never a bad thing in my thoughts.
Ooh, how about Transcendent Network?
Yeah, what does that do?
Yeah, Donnie, explain that.
This allows anyone connected to your network to benefit from information sharing similar to the effect of an MTOC device.
So they just eliminated MTOX by just making a software. Well, hold on. Does this software let me share Edge?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I want to read it all. But you share information similar to the effect of an MTOC. Yeah, all connected individuals have access to a special pool of edge that is equal to your submersion grade. This edge pool is empty when established, but any connected character can transfer their edge to it on a one-to-one basis. That's pretty much what an MTOC does.
Right,
If not word for word.
That's software?
No, it's
That's
a Technomancer thing. So like,
Oh, it's a sprite.
no, it's just them. They
so
are a
Technomancers.
MTOC.
So
It's like magic,
yeah,
electronic.
no,
magic.
I got you. But is there a veil on that? Is that how do you get that a character? Like, how do you is that just what all Technomancers have now?
You got to submerge. Every time you submerge, just like initiation for mages, you choose a or an echo.
Oh, okay.
Mages get meta magics when they initiate. Technomancers get echoes when they submerge.
Can you get that at character gen?
Yes, you can. Which is
Now you can.
Yeah, now you can. Well, once the book is released, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, before Before the errata, they made it so you couldn't initiate during character time.
Oh, that's true. Which is
That's
interesting
much.
because you can't get an MTOC at character
You
time.
cannot.
Right, that's what I'm
Yep.
saying. You cannot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, that kind of makes me sad.
But if you only submerge once, I mean, this MTOC is only this transcendent network is only good for one edge.
Right. So it's equal to your your immersion
Submersion
rating.
grid. Yeah.
So
Okay, so
once you could do it once. What is? I mean, to not super great, and it's only one edge you can hold.
Yeah. But every time you submerge after that, even if you take the echo once,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second time you submerge, you take a different echo. But your submersion grade is still 2, so that upgrades all of your previous echoes.
Yep.
pretty cool.
There's one on here which they added, Cyber Adept,
Mm-hmm.
which correlates to a new quality path for people that like quality paths to be a Cyber Adept. You can be a novice. It's a whole path. Like, you probably end up spending all of your karma on this thing.
Yeah.
But it helps you. Basically, resonance works the same as magic does. When you lose essence, you lose resonance. And a cyber adept is someone who, they lose their, what's it called, resonance, but you get some extra stuff out of it
Mm-hmm.
if you have an essence hole. Pretty cool.
Moving right along, another really, really big thing that was added in this book is the ability to play AIs.
As like player characters?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was in 5th edition, and then obviously when 6th edition got released, they took it away, but you are now able to play as an AI once again, which is very, very interesting. They have all sort of character paths for it. I think this is
all new qualities
qualities
specifically for these. It's not really usually recommended to play an AI because you live on the Matrix, which kind of limits what you could do.
it. Right.
But it would be cool for like a whole group of players to just all be AIs.
Exactly.
That'd be interesting.
It is very, very interesting. It puts a lot of story back into the game as playable, with like the Crash 2.0 and as well as everything that went down in Boston and stuff like that. I enjoy things where they add stuff that was in the lore and now is playable once again and updated, which is always a huge thing in my book. Tons of new qualities for Deckers and Technomancers.
There's what are they called? Collectives. Basically, Street Weird added magic groups, magical societies. This is adding emergent groups. Is that what they're called? Yeah. So now you can have your group of hackers, and it's a resource. It's a contact. I think it makes it submersion cheaper, probably. That's how magic groups work.
Yep. Makes it easier for you to do the submerging stuff, which is... I'm okay with it, because once you get up there, it can get very difficult unless you specifically build your character to submerge, which seems like a weird thing to do, but... and
I like the thought of having more like NPC AIs that are actually flushed out.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, you have an AI, all right, what does it do? Well, it's just an AI. Now it's like it has stats, it has go back to making my own Cortana, get jammed in my brain.
Exactly.
Sure, yeah. This way a GM could literally build, it's not a free sprite or whatever they're called, it's a true AI.
Yeah.
And they can make their own decisions, not controlled by their primal sprite instincts.
I mean, you can't command them; they have their own free will.
Yeah.
They also added resonance realms, which are just how does the best way to describe a resonant realm?
Is it I don't know what that is, but it sounds like mana ebbs and flows. You know, I know a lot of these things mirror the magic worlds, and ebbs and flows with magic. If you're a blood mage, you're in like they go to a blood mage realm.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's no, it is like a physical location. There's like 4 different ways to go into these different realms. Whether going into let's see, a couple of ways.
They're
Reflection
metaplanes.
pools. Yeah, they're metaplanes. Void, Endless Archive, Tombstones, The Factory, Human Malice, Playground, Crooked House, Cruft, Colonel Panic, Corp World. Like, there are just so many different metaplanes that you can go into as a Technomancer.
That's cool.
Or probably an AI would be my assumption.
This is, I think, the World of Warcraft reference.
Yes.
Basically, these are all different video games. If you want to turn it into that, just different instances of different types of games. I just love the names of them, like Playground or The Factory.
And then there's a bunch of new stuff as well for Convergence with God as well, which is cool. They have response teams, new types of ice, and then new matrix statuses. So you can have a cyber virus, by the way, which is pretty sweet, and very much for it. They also offer some adventure hooks within here, which is pretty cool.
Always nice to have those.
Yep, and it has different hooks, different.
I like to use the hooks for character generation.
Yeah, I know you showed me that a while ago for yours. I thought that was very smart to do. But yeah, I really like it. They also come with like who's who, so it shows like who these people are. Very, very cool stuff that going in. But that is cover to cover of hack and slash. I think this is the more and more that I see release from Catalyst for 6th edition, the more and more I thoroughly enjoy with what they're doing with the books. It is definitely a 180 from what we were shown at the very beginning of 6th edition, but very happy to see where they're going into the future.
There's
especially
a ton of references in this book. On page 177, they have a multipass, and it has an exclamation point. Multipass.
Exactly.
Multipass.
Fifth element.
It's so
Or throwback. You know, it's got the little.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know what that symbol is. I thought it was like a copyright symbol, but no, it's
like
something
an
else.
symbol.
Yeah,
a fancy @ symbol.
It is very cool with all the stuff in here. Overall, what do you guys think about the book as we went through and skimmed through it?
I'm not. Go ahead.
You go first.
I'm not much of a Matrix guy or hacker or decker, but I actually genuinely like this stuff in here is really cool and like game changing in a not so like
Dramatic way.
Yeah, but it still can be if you want it to be, which is really fucking cool.
Agreed.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's you know, I've always stayed away from the Matrix stuff because it just hurts my brain. And I started with magic, and I understand magic. Meat space is easy. But what I like about this is I feel like I could overlay Street Weird right over the table of contents, and it's like custom spells, custom programs. It's all outlined in the same way, and it just makes it seem easier. Now I kind of want to play a Technomancer again.
I totally agree. I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I haven't really like thoroughly. I used to play a Decker, back in 5th edition, but it was like, okay, it's whatever. It was very, very long process, but I was like, I'll stay away from Technomancers. But the more that we keep talking about Technomancers, and then now this Matrix book, I'm just like, I feel like I really want to try play a Technomancer now.
I think it helps. There's a lot of world building in this too.
Yes.
There's a lot of meat in the middle of the book, a lot of game information. But on the the beginning of the book, the ending of the book. There's just a lot of lore, especially what we were just talking about, the not the hooks, but the metaplane equivalent. I don't know what those called, but that is just a really great place, like where you can build your character. Like, oh, I hang out in the playground when I'm in the Matrix all day long.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I really enjoy how they're adding a lot of. They're not just putting strict hack or Matrix books and then releasing Matrix book, but it is a splat book. They're putting them both together, so you get the rules and stuff like that, but they're also giving you a place to use these rules at, which allows the book not to be only just a player or a GM book, but everyone could feel good buying this book, whether you're a player or a GM, and I think that is very, very important when it comes to buying books. So I'm a very big fan of the book. I've been a big fan of the last couple books they've released, but super excited to see some of the stuff added. Especially, I really hope that Travis wants to do We're In, because hot damn, that is hilarious.
I just wish we had like a Technomancer, someone that could join Travis in all the fun.
Right, just make Reno a Technomancer, no big deal.
I know it's not important to some, but I feel like they really stepped up their artwork. Like it seems more detailed.
That's a good point. I wanted to bring it up right at the beginning, but Josh just drove right into it.
Sorry.
The artwork in this book
choice
really stands out to me.
Yeah, more than the rest for some reason. Like the rest were cool, and I was like, "Oh, it's nice." But this one, I'm really like, I'm looking at the pictures more. I don't know why.
I think it's just they're just so colorful, and that's not something you see in the Sixth World, because a lot of these are. There's one on page 18 that looks like it's straight out of Lock whatever from World of Warcraft.
Yes.
the dwarf starting area. There's this dude on page 25 with a giant sword that just makes me think Final Fantasy.
Look at page 58. Like, look how detailed that is. Obviously, viewer, you can't see this.
Just remember page 58, guys, when you guys see it.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of like the point, though, right? Like, if you think about Matrix overlay of the Sixth World, like, everything's very dark and grungy, but then you get into the Matrix, and it is very a different world that you're living in. It literally can be, you can literally just walk through this virtual door, and you are in a jungle, so it can be colorful, it can be nice. Like, that's why so many people get lost in the Matrix and or sit in BTLs, because like it's obviously better than what's outside.
Better than life.
Exactly.
Page 105. What the fuck? What is that?
But guys, thank you, JJ and Donnie, for coming and chatting about the new book. You guys are welcome. Fantastic. Really appreciate it. They do chat. They play on the show as Reno and Tiny. See us tomorrow as we start up with the episode 4 of We Run the Night. So I think it's gonna be a interesting, probably conclusion to this run. At least the meat and potatoes of it, as we get Reno hopefully back in the action, and they're not being tied up by someone who is interested in a paycheck.
Yeah, Donna, did you happen to see that? What we think about that?
No. I talked to Josh about it.
Yeah.
I sent the little message to the group, like, "Oh, I got thrown into the desert." As like, this is a good excuse.
That 10-minute snippet of us figuring out why you're gone. Pretty funny.
No, the one time I tuned in, it was the group trying to decide if they should murder this family.
Yeah, I don't know why that was an option. Even
and then I tuned back out.
Usual guns first guy, I'm like, what is happening?
That's what happens when I leave the group.
Exactly, gone for a day. But chat, make sure you guys are around for tomorrow. It's gonna be super, super good. Thank you to Catalyst for providing this book ahead of time for us to be able to use in our show, as well as looking into. If you guys are any, make sure you guys check out Catalyst Game Labs, and especially be on the lookout for this new book. It is top shelf. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with Rerun the Night. Have a good one, guys.
Tomorrow we